What are we doing, guys?
Going to Goodwood.
Going to Goodwood. We're doing a team time trial in Kristen's car for the Cowley Condors. So, on Tuesday, we headed to Goodwood to compete in the 40-kilometer team time trial at the motor race circuit. The team was made up of me, my background is in triathlon, Kristen, who is the women's race captain of the Cowley Condors, Ella, who has also a background in triathlon and has recently switched to endurance cycling, and Daphne, who also has a background in triathlon, now is a very avid runner. The team was put together by Kristen, and we had actually never practiced together, so we really did not know what to expect. Kristen came up with an order that we thought might work well, but it was entirely speculative. And we headed off to the race. We talked about tactics in the car, among other things, with a lot of gossip and giggling as well. And we had a really nice journey down. It was about a 2-hour drive. We're talking tactics. Daphne, what tactics are you going to employ?
Big watts. Big watts.
What bombs?
But not so as to bomb your colleagues.
Yes.
Just like smooth watts, but very big watts.
Okay. Scared. I am scared. I don't have big watts. I only have little watts. Then we got there and it was time to sign on. We got our race numbers and our chips. Cowley Condors.
Thank you. Cowley Road Condors.
Team 9.
And
then set everything up and went for a quick walk down the road just to spin the legs out a little bit after a long drive. Our start time was just before 7 p.m. so that day I'd had like a really big lunch and then some overnight oats in Kristen's car and then a gel about 20 minutes before we started.
20 minutes.
How are we feeling, girls?
Alright.
Yeah,
It is a video.
Yeah. This is dinner tonight.
Yum yum!
20 minutes, we're gonna smash.
Yeah.
We're gonna smash it. We're all gonna rip each other's legs off. That's the aim. Alright, see you on the other side.
Bye! We were all quite nervous, but I think something about a team time trial just takes the pressure off a little bit. We started in a row of 4 and then separated out, and Kristen took the first little stint. We were taking about 20-second turns and then rotating off the front. And we weren't sticking to either side, we were just taking the racing line and then sort of, you know, elbowing to nudge the other person through. To begin with, I think that we're all 4 of us pretty strong riders. So it was going well, but I think that the smoothness just wasn't there, unsurprisingly. You know, people would peel off the front and then struggle to get back on because the first person in their sort of like excitement had surged a little bit. And we had chatted about not surging, and I think all of us were focusing on it, but it's really hard when you're suddenly exposed to the wind. If you're not paying attention, I think you will surge because you do have to put down suddenly more power. Ella is probably the strongest rider of the 4 of us.
You did like some of the biggest pulls.
I was sat on her wheel, so I felt like I was just taking 2 turns because even sat on her wheel I was pushing like 260 watts. Which when your FTP is 230, that feels like kind of a lot. As the race went on, we started to just get smoother and smoother. So that around the corners, that was the moment that we would rotate off, which is super efficient. So the first person goes the widest around the corner, and that uses that moment to peel back. The course had this like little echelon section in it, which was totally fine, not super technical, but it was around that echelon that we found this bottleneck that meant that actually we lost quite a lot of time during moments where, for example, a team would overtake and then slow to go through the echelon and so on. So we all agreed that we lost about 30 seconds there.
2 like so sketchy moments, like there's a team that almost dive bombed you. That was like 3.
Oh
2
my god! Yeah, and I was on the front,
Yeah.
so you guys probably like saw it happening. I thought they did, because guys always like.
Also, like
But those moments where people were overtaking us on both sides and then like coming together and basically sandwiching us off.
Yeah.
Like we lost seconds there, like tens of seconds.
Yeah, that time when I was on the front and then I just couldn't pull off because there was like 16 teams coming on.
but in general, for me at least, the race just got better and better and better. I had quite heavy legs to begin with, and I was very worried. It seemed like I kind of warmed into it. So even though during the warm-up I felt like ass, it did definitely improve. And we ended up holding an average pace of over 40 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, I felt like we were going at a pretty steady, strong pace the whole way around. So actually, I didn't start to feel really bad until maybe lap 7.
Did everyone hear my counting? No. I heard the lap counting. I was also counting. I was in so much pain. I was like, that was the only thing that was getting me through.
My average heart rate was like 185, so there were definitely moments of respite, especially when you're fourth wheel. It felt like I could get a little bit of recovery, so my heart rate would drop a little bit and my power would go down to like sometimes 150 watts. So we were all absolutely chuffed, and also chuffed that it was over, because actually 40k is kind of a long time trial. At least it felt like that to me. This is only my second one ever, so I guess coming from a place of little experience, but we were going pretty hard from the gun.
Mile 8, I was like, this is not doable, this is not sustainable. And I looked at our average speed and I was like, oh fuck, we're gonna blow up. Yeah. But then we just kept going.
And I'm just really impressed that we managed to sustain that level of effort, because honestly there were definitely moments where I had to gaslight myself into doing it. For example, I would say to Ella, I'm gonna skip the next turn, which I then wouldn't skip, but mentally that just gave me a little boost. And we placed 4th as a team in the women's category, which is just fantastic. Given the fact that we'd never raced before, it was such a shocking result. Yeah, we loved it, just pleasantly surprised, and can't wait for the next one.
So, Ella, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome are we?
11.
Wow, this is beautiful.
I feel like I am on drugs. I am so happy. Why is racing like this? Like, I just feel like, I don't know. Yeah. You know when you just, things come together, and
That was tonight.
that was tonight.
Yeah.
The fact that we had not practiced together once as well. What? Like, how was it so good?